Peace. My name is MystyMoon, and I'm an integrative health coach for women. And my purpose is to help women heal physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And today we're going to be discussing the benefits of going through a dark night of the soul. And this is a topic that has been discussed on many platforms, many channels, but oftentimes we overlook of what are the gifts that we receive from going through the dark night of the soul. So that's what we're going to be focusing on in this video. Let's get to it. Now, we can all agree that a dark night of the soul is a spiritual crisis. It's when your perception is skewed, you're not sure what's right, what's wrong, what's up, what's down. And oftentimes, dark night of the soul can be triggered by some type of catastrophic event that happens in your life. Or it could just be you're going through your own internal evolution. For an example, we have what's called the Saturn return, and this is within the astrological realm, where every 27 years, the planet Saturn, which is the planet of lessons, comes through your natal chart. And so when you're 27, around 27, 30, that's when you may be experiencing, well, should I continue going to this college? If you're married, do I want to get a divorce? Maybe question your sexual preferences. Like all these big, big questions come to mind around that age. And then it comes around again, which is around like 54, and that's when you're going through what they call a midlife crisis. But we also have dark night of the souls in between those phases. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a certain age. It could just be when you're just evolving spiritually. And I used to think that the dark night of the soul was a one-time thing. Like you go through that one major event in your life, and then everything is pretty much easy breezy from there. You might have some, of course, you're going to have trials and tribulations that comes and goes, but nothing on the magnitude of like a dark night of the soul. And what I learned this year is that we have many dark night of the souls. And I personally feel that the reason why that we hear this more often, I mean, I've spoken to so many people in 2020 alone that are awakening and going through these multiple dark night of the souls. And I feel like that's because what a dark night of the soul, what it does is that it expands you. You're evolving. And since so many people are waking up this year, since they have this awareness, their higher selves are guiding them to go through what we would call a dark night of the soul. And so what I want to encourage you is to perceive the dark night of the soul as like an initiation. And with any initiation, it's uncomfortable. It pushes you, it expands you beyond your limitation. But when you go through it, when you get to the other side, you're more evolved, you're more courageous, you're more expanded, more knowledgeable, you have more wisdom than you did before going in. And so if you perceive the dark night of the soul as that, as opposed to, all shit, I'm a victim, my life sucks, things are never going to get better, and you're just focusing on the negative, then you're going to find yourself stuck in that vibration. Or instead, of course, as I always say, embrace the emotion, embrace the reality of how uncomfortable it is, but see how you can find the lesson within that experience. And so I want to give you an example. I'm not sure if any of you know this, but when Maya Angelou was 8 years old, her mother's boyfriend raped her. And when she revealed what was happening, he was beaten to death. Imagine how traumatic that is for an 8-year-old. And so as a result, she didn't speak for 5 years because she was afraid that her words could hurt people. So Maya Angelou, at 8 years old, went through her own 5-year period of going through her own dark night of the soul. But then what did she do with it? She used alchemy to turn her pain into her purpose and influence millions of people all over the world from her words. Isn't that deep? And so she is a perfect example of how we can use the darkest experiences in our lives and use it to become our greatest asset. We can use those experiences to really tap and dig into our purpose. I subscribe to the truth that our higher selves, the source, our divine parent, God, whatever you want to call it, would never put more on us than we can't bear. And I know that that sounds easier said than done, because sometimes we lose family members, we lose friends, we lose our homes, our jobs. Some of us are in war zones. Some of us may experience tornadoes and hurricanes where our entire lives are just like ripped right underneath us. But again, if we can see the gem within that, and again, it doesn't mean that it's not going to take away the pain and the suffering of that experience, but if we can just embrace it, and as you're going into it, perceive it as an opportunity to expand spiritually, then you'll be able to get so much more out of that experience of the dark night of the soul. And I'm going to close out with a quote from an author who's written tons of books on spirituality and mindfulness. He's even done lectures at the Carl Jung Institute. And what he says, his name is Thomas More, is that a truly deep, dark night requires an extraordinary development in life. So really take that in. Again, it's like alchemy. I think about lead, and in order to turn lead into gold, it has to go through the fire. It has to be remolded and reshaped. And imagine how uncomfortable that is. But once it gets to the end of that process, it's gold. It has completely transformed into a higher vibrational entity. So I hope that that inspires you on some level. Again, it doesn't take away the pain. We're not talking about spiritual bypassing in any way, shape, or form, but just offering a perception of how to go into your next dark night of the soul, because it's going to come. There's going to be many of them. And that's another thing too, like especially us people who consider ourselves awoke and spiritually enlightened, there's this kind of complex that we think, oh, why is this happening to me? I'm evolved and doing my inner work. No, it's there's going to be more. And again, it's not because you're doing something wrong, but because the universe is giving you an opportunity to expand, to evolve beyond what you thought you were even capable of expanding to. So take it as like an honor. It's an initiation. And at the end of the day, I also subscribe to the truth that we choose our destiny. We choose the lessons. We made this contract with Source. That when we come down to earth in human form, these are the lessons that we need to learn in order for our spirit to evolve. And so part of those milestones are going through some type of a dark night of the soul. All right, so I don't want to keep repeating myself here. So I hope that inspired, I hope that resonated with some of you on some level. And if so, please like and subscribe to help me spread my light into the world, because I'm here to offer content that's going to inspire and uplift and to help you grow spiritually. And if you feel like you need any support whatsoever, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Holding space for women is my purpose, is my passion. And if you feel like you need some support, I'm offering a free consultation, a free session, one free session that's unlimited time. So it's done when you feel complete. So feel free to reach out to me, and I would love to hold that space for you. And until then, have a beautiful evening, day, morning, whenever you're watching this video, and I look forward to the next one. Until then, peace.